What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I think this laptop is a Chromebook killer. So I picked up this Hewlett-Packard HP 14 Stream laptop, and I've been using it a little while, and so it's not an unboxing video, but I want to show this to you because I think if you're thinking of buying a Chromebook, you should definitely consider this. First of all, I just want to give you a little bit of a look. First, the things that I really like about it are its slim size and shape. So it's actually very light. It's plastic construction. That's probably a down thumb thing, but it's, and it's not very high quality, and it's got a little bit of that tinny sound to it, but that makes it very light. And when you're going to get into this price point, and I'll talk about that, I don't think you really care about the materials, right? So it actually feels very MacBook Pro-ish. It's not particularly big. Has some rubber strips on this bottom here, so it actually sits very nicely. It's all gray, so it, at a glance, it doesn't look like a cheap laptop. Some of the streams I've seen are like purple and aqua green or whatever. So this has a little bit more of a standard laptop look. It actually has a fairly good number of ports here. You can see HDMI and USB-A's, and then it has an SD card, which I was using a little bit. And then there's a 3.5mm plug there for headphones, so you can listen to those. And then you have a single prong power outlet right there. So it's all pretty nice. Now, if I open this up, what I love about this thing is you do get a 14-inch screen, and it's pretty bright and works pretty well. You also get a island style, chiclet style keyboard. You can see the keys are in white here. Again, same type of cheap plastic all around. The trackpad is actually pretty nice size, and I haven't had a problem using it, but I was thinking that I might pair a mouse or just plug in a regular wired mouse to this just to make it a little easier. You can see the specs here, and I want to say it's like a 4 gig DDR4 system memory. It's a Celeron N4000 processor, 14-inch SVA BrightView WLED-backlit display, which is nice. Now, in these, what you're only going to get is a 32 meg hard drive or hard disk, and this is an eMMC storage. Now, that's actually pretty quick, and for me, when I'm using a Windows laptop, I'm always used to it booting up really slowly and kind of laggy. And the nice thing about this is because of the speed of access to storage on here, it's pretty snappy. Everything works pretty well, and it's pretty quick. You actually have some lines down here, so there's a little bit of design. It gives it a little bit of an island, tropical style, I guess, surfer style to me. And everything is pretty fluid on it, even though it's running Windows. Now, I will say here are the downsides to this. The keyboard is a little loud. It's not really bad, but if you're using this in a quiet office environment or in a coffee shop and you're doing a lot of typing, I would say that they are a little bit louder than most keyboards. Now, like I said, I would say that it's not super loud, so I don't want to warn you off about it. I would say that I have a bunch of Chromebooks, including a 15-inch, 15.1-inch Chromebook, and then a smaller 11-inch Chromebook, and those keyboards are about the same. It's just kind of low-rent keyboard sounds. But the screen here, as you might be able to see, is pretty nice. I really definitely like it. It seems to work quite well and look pretty good. The other thing that I will say about this is that battery life, and I went ahead and used this all day because it's Windows, I can actually install the programs that I want on it, was pretty much an all-day battery. Caveat, I closed it for some meetings. I wasn't doing any video streaming or gaming or anything like that. It was really kind of web and email and editing some documents and things like that. And so what I would say is if you are using this in a business or work environment or a school environment that's not multimedia heavy, and you were just using it straight from start to dead battery, my guess is that it's going to be about 5 hours. That's kind of my best guess on it. I would say that I got through an 8-hour day on it with the battery still barely alive, but I wasn't using it for those full 8 hours. Like I said, it was probably dormant in a couple hours of meetings. So I'm actually really impressed with that because Chromebooks are well known for having really long battery life. And, one of the worries that I've had is that I've had laptops, PCs that get 2 or 3 hours of battery. So that's not even really usable on battery. You really have to plug them in. They're kind of desktop replacements. So I really, really like that. I think it's actually very Chromebook-like-ish. Now, the other thing I will say here, and it's a pro combined with a con, is that the pro is that it's Windows. And my issue with Chromebooks is they're great if you have a single user. log in, Gmail account, something like that. But the problem with Chromebooks is that you have to log out if you have a separate account. And for me, we use Gmail for work, I use it for personal, I use it for my YouTube channel, whatever. So I have like 3 or 4 logins, and you have to keep logging out. And one of the things that pushed me over the edge on this that I really, really wanted was to be able to manage multiple accounts at the same time. And so one of the applications, and I did a little video on this, is Shift at tryshift.com. It's a single window unit with different tabs that will allow you to be in different accounts. And so somehow they are managing, the cache independently. And they're great because then if I get an email in one account, I can just hit the tab, go and respond to it. I can go right back to the other things, have different Gmail and Google Drive accounts all accessible right at my fingertips. And that app is not available. It's not web-based. It's a local app and executable that runs in Windows or Mac. And I have to have Windows for it. And so just having that has allowed me to have all the functionality that I generally have with a Chromebook, and yet be able to manage all my accounts in one place. And that was really the impetus for me to switch from Chromebook to this device for kind of my light duty work. And that has been a game changer. And in fact, it's really hard for me to grab one of my Chromebooks and just do some work, because you really have to stay in the one account. Otherwise you have to go to user, log out, or switch users and then log back in and then open up the browsers. It's a pain. So TriShift, is great. And they have a premium version, and I pay for that because I love it so much. Check out my video on that because I have a link to it, and I'll put a link to it below if you want to try that out. But I get all of the capability with Chromebook and Windows. You don't get all the Windows capability with Chromebook. The other thing, and this is the caveat to it, is because of the hard drive is so small, unless you're going to kind of keep it to pretty low software footprint usage, i.e. no Microsoft Office or anything, you're going to run out of hard drive space pretty quickly. So the benefit of this over the Chromebook is I can also link my Dropbox account, my Google Drive, file syncing, and all of that. And I can have some of those files locally. So it actually makes me even more productive, significantly more productive in a work environment than the Chromebook. However, you will, depending on how much you sync, and you have to be selective in my syncs of which folders, you'll run out of hard drive space pretty quickly. Now, the beauty of this is you can put in an SD card here. I hate the SD cards because they kind of stick out a little bit. I really wish they had like the micro SD cards, the really small ones that sit flush and have that eject mechanism, because then I could put another 256 gigs for 70 bucks or whatever. But I did put in a 64 gig here, and I was using it a little bit, and I just don't like the way it sticks out. And I really don't need that much stuff locally running here. Now, the problem is, Dropbox is syncing, Google Drive is syncing, and that was all great, and it really makes it so much more productive than Chromebook. But because the hard drive runs out, I actually couldn't put Microsoft Office. So if you're one of the guys that says, hey, I need to have Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel on here, you're going to basically find that pretty much in no configuration, even with no other apps, is it gonna fit on the hard drive. I will say I downloaded, I think it's called FreeOffice. There are a few Microsoft Office competitors or proxies that are open source, free, license free, whatever. And I did go ahead and install the text editor and the spreadsheet program on here, and they just barely fit. I still think I have 100 megs or 170 megs of free space. Not a lot, but nonetheless, still a little bit, so I can do some stuff locally. And so if someone sends me an email attachment with a Word doc and you want me to review it and make some edits and send it back, at least I can do that, but I just can't do it with the official Microsoft Word application. So all that being said, and let me get to the price point here, is that a Windows laptop like this, it's good battery life, allows you to do all the same things as a Chromebook, with the same form factor, is great. But generally what's held people back on buying Windows laptop over Chromebook is the fact that they are much more expensive. Now this one, crazy, I got it for like 130 bucks. And I don't know, brand new, I think it was kind of considered like a return or open box or refurb maybe, or I don't know how they classify them. But even if you were to buy this brand new, I don't think it is that expensive, maybe 140, 150 bucks. And at that price point, that is what pretty much every entry-level Chromebook goes for. In fact, I've never bought a Chromebook under $100. And so the fact that this is like 130 to 150, and so it's basically the same price as your entry-level Chromebook with full-on Windows, so you can edit documents, you know, more seamlessly and all of that, I think that this is a Chromebook killer. I just cannot see myself buying another Chromebook when I'm getting similar battery life and have all of the additional capability above and beyond what I get with a Chromebook with this HP Stream. I really am curious. I'd love to try out some of the other ones. I used to have an HP Stream in the purple before, and that was great, but it was a little sluggish. And this one, I don't know if it's a Celeron processor or the way the Windows is configured or whatever, but it just seems to run as fast as I need. It's not necessarily super zippy, but you know, you'll notice when things are a little laggy, and I just really can't stand that. It just has to work about as fast as I work. And so this is a really, really great laptop. I can't believe I'm really endorsing this one so much, because at $130, you really don't expect much, but this has really been my go-to laptop for the last few weeks for anything other than really heavy-duty work and processing. So if you want to pick this up, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.